So, if you're in the short-form video game, you've probably been told it's all about creativity, right? Authenticity. Well, the hard engineering truth is a little colder than that. These days, short-form video is a scale problem, and your creativity on its own just isn't enough when you're going up against this.
200 billion, yeah, that's billion with a B. Just let that number sink in for a second. That is the number of video plays across TikTok, Reels, and Shorts that you are fighting against every single day. It's an absolutely insane scale, and it completely changes the rules of the game.
And that number, well, it creates a pretty harsh reality. It's not just about being good anymore. It's about being fast, it's about being consistent, and it's about having a system. This is exactly why automation systems, and specifically these Google Pomeli Workflows, are becoming so critical for anyone who's actually serious about competing. All right, so here's the game plan for this explainer. We're going to start by really nailing down that scale problem. Then we'll break down the Google automation system itself. After that, we'll walk through two incredibly powerful workflows, one for going viral, one for getting sales. Then we're going to hit a huge operational flaw you absolutely need to know about. And we'll wrap it all up with the big idea: automating your infrastructure, not your strategy.
Okay, let's kick things off by really digging into the problem. You know, this pressure to just churn out content isn't just in your head. It is a mathematical certainty, and it's driven by some pretty brutal numbers.
And these three data points, they basically create a perfect storm. First, you have literally 8 seconds to grab someone. 8 seconds! You're also fighting for a slice of a market that takes up almost 30% of all media. And sure, TikTok engagement can be high, but it's also incredibly fleeting. This whole situation creates a non-stop content treadmill that leads straight to burnout and causes your brand's message to just get lost in all the noise.
So how do we fight back? This is where the Google automation system comes in. But, and this is super important, you gotta stop thinking of these tools as some kind of magic make me a video button. It's not. It's an interconnected engineering system, and every single part has a very specific job to do.
Now, at the very heart of this whole system is Pomeli. But here's the mindset shift. Don't think of it as just a content generator. Think of it as a brand identity API. Its main job, its whole purpose, is to be the guardian of your brand. It makes sure every single script, every image, every caption is mathematically aligned with your brand's core DNA, which, by the way, it learns right from your own website. And this is where it all clicks together so beautifully. Pomeli is the brain. It's the strategist coming up with all the brand-safe ideas and copy. Then you have Google's VO or vids. Those are the hands. They take the script and do the work of actually producing the video. And finally, you have the Video Intelligence API. Think of it as the regulator. It analyzes the final video to tweak it for maximum discovery. Brain, hands, regulator. Simple.
Okay, so now that we get the system, we can use it to build two totally different but super powerful workflows for two totally different goals. You've got the viral loop, which is all about raw engagement and getting seen by millions on TikTok. And then you have the conversion loop, which is built for building trust and actually making sales over on Instagram Reels. Let's start with the viral loop.
All right, let's dive into the first one. Workflow 1, the viral loop. The mission here is simple. Engineer massive discovery and just raw, unfiltered engagement on TikTok.
So here's the play-by-play. First, you don't start from scratch. No, you find a competitor's trending video, feed that URL to Pomeli, and ask it for a script skeleton, but in your brand's voice. Pomeli will spit out a few options. Your job? Pick the most controversial hook, what we call a pattern interrupt. Then you feed that script to VO and let it generate all the B-roll. Now, the human touch. You add trending audio in a big text overlay of that hook for the first 3 seconds. And the final power move? Run the finished video through the Video Intelligence API to get all this rich metadata that will absolutely supercharge your video's description.
And this right here is a perfect example of a pattern interrupt hook that Pomeli might come up with. See how it works? It's controversial, it challenges what everyone thinks, and it makes a really bold promise. It's designed to make someone who's mindlessly scrolling just stop dead in their tracks and go, wait, what? That's the whole point of the viral loop strategy.
Okay, now let's switch gears completely to a totally different goal. Let's look at workflow 2, the conversion loop. We're not chasing viral fame here. Instead, we are systematically, and I mean systematically, building brand trust to drive actual sales on Instagram Reels.
The secret sauce here is structure.
You prompt Pomeli to build a script that follows a very specific story. You state a problem your audience has, you present your unique solution, you establish why you're the authority, and then you give a crystal clear call to action. And you know, the real magic of using Pomeli for this is that it keeps your tone consistent and authoritative. It stops you from accidentally sounding like all that generic, spammy hustle culture content out there.
This workflow also uses a brilliant hybrid model of production. You let the AI do all the grunt work, the tedious, time-sucking stuff like B-roll and branded graphics. But the most important moments, the trust-building moments, like when you deliver the problem and the call to action, those are filmed by a real human. This gives you the best of both worlds, the massive scale of AI combined with the genuine authenticity of a human connection. And that combo is absolutely essential for conversions. Now, as amazing as all this sounds, we have to hit the brakes for a second. We need a major reality check. Because right now, this system has a fundamental, and I mean potentially very expensive flaw in its operation.
So you might be thinking, is this it? Have we finally reached the perfect set-it-and-forget-it autonomous content machine? Well, the answer, for now at least, is a hard no. And here's the flaw, plain and simple. Pomeli has no native feedback loop. It's fantastic at generating content based on your brand's existing DNA, but it has zero idea how that content actually performs out there in the real world.
Think about it. If a script that Pomeli wrote has a terrible rhythm and people drop off after 5 seconds, Pomeli never learns from that. It can't see abysmal share rates. It doesn't read negative comments. So here's the key insight, and you've got to get this. You are the feedback loop. You have to manually go into your TikTok and meta-analytics, pull that performance data, and feed those insights back into your prompts to constantly teach the system and make it smarter. And all of this really leads us to the most important takeaway of this whole analysis. The goal here isn't to automate your brain. It's to automate all the grunt work so your brain can do what it does best. At the end of the day, the real value of these workflows isn't just about the cool videos they can make today. It's about the time they buy you back tomorrow. They build the digital guardrails for your brand, handling all the tedious stuff like checking hex codes and brand tone, which frees you up to focus on the high-level strategy, the killer hook, the emotional story, the perfect call to action. Which really just leaves you with one final question to ask yourself. Are you building a truly scalable system, or are you just using fancy new tools to generate better fluff?